Hey all you samurai out there, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din coming at you with another chapter review of Samurai 8. This time it's chapter 5 titled Heading Out. And that's basically it. Like, Hachimaru is finally setting out with Dharma. And to be honest, I was really kind of expecting there to be more of a lingering thing because Dharma starts to slowly teach Hachimaru certain. Well, has Hachimaru wait before they set out, and I was originally expecting to see more of a conversation between the two before they set out, but no. Dharma heads to this nearby tree with apparently there's this samurai horse aura sitting inside, one of the holders, I guess. And, he finds this hidden door. And then he enters and finds this, what looks to be a horse holder. And all the configurations, what looks like a nearby key, a samurai spirit, all the fixings for a samurai. And it's just like, Dharma, you're not questioning this enough. Like, talk to the father or whatever. But he even noticed there's a sword's bone hilt, and all this good stuff. And it's just like, oh man, father definitely has knowledge about samurai. Well, why don't you question him more about this? It feels like there should really be some questioning about all of this. Some questions that Hachimaru himself should be asking as well. This is all stuff that Hachimaru very much should be privy to. But he's not in the loop on any of this. It's really weird. But, Dharma gets all set up with the horse samurai holder. And, he's got the key, he's got the equipment, he's got everything on it. And so they set out ready to ride forward. And, Hachimaru just starts asking for a little bit of exposition from Dharma as to what they need to know about the, key holder and all that good stuff. And he learns about how the partners interact and this, that, and the other. A lot of stuff that's just kind of glossed over. I still feel that even with the explanation, I don't fully grasp everything that they're saying because I need to see it more used in practical aspects. For the most part, all we've truly seen is that you get your armor from the steed, you get your weapon from the steed, and can have that hold on to it until you're ready to use it. And honestly, and it's a ride for you, basically. And that's about it. I don't really see anything else that really impacts the way I view these key holders or, animal vehicles, whatever. But Dharma says, it holds your weapon, your armor, your shield, it's your transport, and not to mention it's a symbol and all that good stuff. A symbol of who you are, apparently. And then we get a nice little montage of them traveling across the countryside and all that. Obviously, Hachimaru's having a good time for the most part. But then they get to this place that's a safe house with these stone guardians outside. And Hachimaru's just like, this doesn't really feel like a safe house to me. Dharma tells him to fly between the two guardians. Hachimaru does so, only to be smacked away by the stone guardians who have come to life. And it's revealed they're actually robots. But before Hachimaru can actually ask Dharma, how do we stop these things, Dharma has fell asleep again. So honestly, it's obvious that the narcolepsy that Dharma shows is for comedic effect, but at the same time, it's just like, this is a little too much of a dangerous situation for you to just be up and falling asleep, dude. Like, come on, get it together. But Hachimaru, rides on Hayataro, ready to do what he can to take these things down. But as he tries to strike at them, he's not able to really cut through the material that they're made of. And when one of them goes to strike at Hachimaru, Dharma wakes up, plunges his sword into its fist, and manages to, deflect the blow. But knowing this isn't enough, Daruma pulls out his bone, his sword bone hilt, and then he reaches into his stomach where the samurai spirit is stored, and he infuses it into the bone hilt, thus allowing him to be able to pull some Metal Gear Revengeance style attacks, slicing clear through one of the creatures like it was a hot knife through butter. And we also see that one of the other giant actually has friggin' finger missiles and it fires those. Honestly, a lot of this will look a lot better animated because it's not that it's hard to follow, it's just that it's like, ooh, so much is happening, and it's just really, it's interesting, but I feel like animation would give it a little bit more flow. It's not bad, just animation would just really highlight the quality of this fight scene. And so noticing that the missiles are homing in on him, Daruma's just like, a samurai doesn't only have a sword, as he, puts back in his blade into the horse holder, and then he pulls out these friggin' Gatling guns, these dual pistols I should say, which took me off guard because I'm just like, wait, you're a samurai, why are you dual wielding guns? It's just like a more advanced weapon for a more civilized age. And he manages to blast out all the rockets from the sky, but he ends up missing one. And as one rocket ends up sending out all these other rockets, because of course it would, Daruma has the horse holder, transfuse all of the material on it into armor for Daruma, like we saw previously in the first chapter. And with that, Daruma's able to cut down all of the various rockets with his sword and his armor. As now he's fully protected, and he's able to shield against the various blasts. And then he goes at the one golem, and with a single spinning strike like a buzzsaw or a friggin' Beyblade, he says, Vajra Yaskas, the eye of the sword. Ugh. Yeah, doesn't really roll off the tongue. Vajra Yaska, eye of the sword. There we go, a little bit better. But Hachimaru's kind of impressed because he's just like, oh man, so this is how a true samurai fights. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I guess they're about as much of samurai as Naruto characters are ninja. Because, man, we pulled a long way from ninja techniques when it came to Naruto. But when this series was announced, I was expecting at least a little bit of actual samurai abilities, but man, we passed that a long time ago. And Hachimaru questions, hey, you think you can teach me how to do that kind of stuff? But Daruma says, well, Hayataro is just a simple holder right now, but he can become a key holder like the steed I ride. You have to wait until it gives you the bone hilt. And, once Hachimaru's just like, well, what's the bone hilt? Daruma gets it to pop right out of Hayataro. I'm just like, well, why didn't it do that before? Why did we have to wait for Hachimaru to get it if it was in Hayataro this entire time? Just give him the damn bone hilt so we can, start training to become a samurai. Why was he carrying around that? It would have helped out against the friggin' tank, man. But whatever. Now Hachimaru has the bone hilt, which is the hilt of the samurai sword. And once he'll soon learn how to pull out the samurai soul within his stomach. God, that's such a weird thing to say. And we'll be able to infuse it into the bone hilt, and he'll be able to summon his samurai sword, and maybe even get to the point where he can summon his samurai armor as well. But Hachimaru's all too ready to begin his training, and that's where our chapter ends. Once again, this series kind of gets into the field of things that go beyond what I'm able to just retain for the most part. It's not that I don't understand certain elements, I'm still not seeing the real significance of them, because it's not like Daruma took any real damage, by having the armor put around him. You know, it feels like it would make more sense to continue to have it around your steed, and then it would be able to put up these walls and stuff, just to kind of shield you in certain situations. I feel that I don't know, that makes a little bit more sense to me, but it's not like I'm a samurai, so whatever. But an okay chapter. Wasn't really feeling too much of it. The action was fun, but I don't know, something about it just didn't really excite me. I guess it's just because it felt like we're taking on random mooks that can be easily defeated. There was no sense of tension or like, are they gonna make it? It's just like, well, yeah, they're probably gonna make it. I guess I'm just still not as invested as I feel I could be in this series right now. Something still just kind of feels off, and I don't know, maybe it's just going to take a few more chapters to fully get me invested. Now that Nanashi isn't involved, I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. How are you feeling about the series up until this point? How did you feel about this fight scene? And did you actually care for the exposition that we got? Or do you still feel a little bit like, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm fully grasping everything here, just like me? Or maybe you're a little bit smarter than I am, or a lot bit smarter than I am, and are fully picking up on it. Just let me know in the comment section below. If you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below. Subscribe and hit the bell icon, that way you never miss out on another Samurai 8 chapter review. And if you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I am everywhere, for better or for worse. And until the next video, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I am going to bed. Remember, strike hard, strike fast, and get your revengeance.